Hmm. All right, here we go. It has been a minute since I have had the joy of seeing this banner on the screen. Welcome back to another DMing Hadley game. Tonight we're playing Shadow Squad, part of the Mercenary Guild world, and I'm glad to be back with these fine folks at the table. It's very exciting. John's back, Rico's back, Matt's back. This is good. We're gonna have a good time tonight. This is gonna be something a little different because this is going to be a three-part series, which I have titled "The Delve," and this is part one, "Into the Dark." Just to give you guys a little primer, a little precursor for what's going on here, and that is that underneath the Feywild, the section of the planet of Tierra that is now overlapped by many Ricos, because there's so many Ricos. It's Ricos all the way down. The Feywild began to be corrupted by a dark force, and Drow started moving in, both through a castle to the far northeast of this continent, and from a tremendous and somewhat catastrophic little meteor, um, which broke through the earth and allowed them to bring back Lolth and a number of other deities of the Drow. And now somebody's got to do something about it, and apparently it's these three. Yeah, they're going to be setting up hopefully, if they live, they'll be setting up a new base for the Mercenary Guild, from which we will launch a new and some might argue improved Shadow Squad into the Underdark and the Shadowfell. So things are gonna get dark and shadowy. It's in the name. It's right. It says it right there. I'm trying to do the whole truth in advertising sort of thing. So, with all that said, you know what's coming next. It's the round robin. During the round robin, we like to do four distinct things. The first thing we do is introduce ourselves. The second thing we do is share with one another and the world our pronouns. The third thing we do is introduce our characters. And the fourth and final thing is offer a vivid, aesthetic description of our characters so that they may live in each and every one of our brain holes because I like to vividly hallucinate with my friends on the internet for 2 or 3 hours at a time, seven days a week, often multiple times per day. And today is no different. So, without further ado, John, why don't you take it away? You're all the way on the other end of the screen from me, and show the folks at home how it's done.
I'm John, he, him pronouns. Today I will be playing commonly known as Mary Garden, pronounced correctly in Abyssal Magatu. And she is being played as a Hexblood. The very quick version of her is that she was a failed clone created by Igwilv many hundreds of years ago, stashed away in a demiplane. And when Igwilv went to reclaim her, she discovered she had her own intelligence, her own awareness, her own personality that was quite dark and terrifying and awful. And Mary Garden escaped from the demiplane and has been running from Igwilv ever since, doing terrible things to people, as she's basically like the embodiment of like hateful thoughts. She takes a humanoid-looking form, has been hiding out in the Feywild for many centuries, taking the form of a hag. So therefore, hags, of course, very frequently take the appearance of like an attractive young woman. So she looks like 5'10", blonde hair that she keeps in tight braids, tattoos, does a lot of like infant sacrifice, animal sacrifice, blood rituals, things like that.
Blood, yes. Blood.
She is wearing a gold snake pendant of the god Apep, who is an apocalyptic god of the death of the world in fire. So she is here combating Lolth because Apep is an enemy of Lolth that wishes to end the world in a different way from Lolth.
Yeah. We can't have that, can we? Spider webs. I don't know. You can do the spider webs and then set those on fire. Couldn't that work? Couldn't we? Why can't we all just get along?
Why can't we end the world both ways?
To bring the end of the world. Shouldn't you be on the same side? I'm just saying.
So she is a blood arcana wizard. That is Mary Garden.
Beautiful. Thanks, John. Also, John, there's no hissing in the background of your microphone. So
oh, interesting. I haven't changed anything.
I don't know if it was that you were talking and the cadence was great, but I don't hear like a violent. You know what it is? I bet you've got the noise cancellation on from Google now, and I bet it recognizes that that's not a you talking.
They pushed some updates to my work laptop recently. It could be a driver change or something like that, maybe.
It could be. I don't know. It's significant. That's amazing. Beautiful. Thanks, John. All right, Matt, take it away. Welcome back. Great to see you, bud.
Great to see you guys. Matt, he, him pronouns. I'm playing Garrett Silverleaf. He is an elf. Mostly Gloomstalker Ranger, but also a worshiper of Saloon. So he's got his whole thing is about hanging out in the Underdark, fighting drow. He wears a black cloak with a mask because he's very considerate about his germs and the pandemic and things like that.
There's a lot of spores down here.
There are a lot of spores.
You've got to be careful about the spores, man.
That's right. You know, he as I said, you know, hanging out in the Underdark, skulking around, ambushing drow is kind of the thing he likes to do the most. So he's excited to join the Shadow Squad.
Love that. What do we see on him? Is he He's got the mask. He's cloaked. He's got weapons. Do we see his weapons?
Yes, he's mostly got a bow. I mean, that's the primary thing that he'll use if he has to get in close quarters. He's got a short sword, but mostly he'll use his longbow.
And how tall is he?
He's 6 feet tall.
Cool. Love it. Love it. Beautiful. Thanks, Matt. All right, Rico.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rico. I am he, him pronouns, and today I am replaying Kagos, my Loxodon Tempest Cleric. And, hold on. Oh my god. So, Kagos is a 7-foot elephant man. Oh yeah, he's a monk too. So he's wearing his favored gi around the same color as like this blue here. Yeah. But like real light kind of guy with a wrapped up looking thing on his back. We don't know what that is yet, but maybe we'll see. He's wearing his
while I whip this out.
Yeah, right. He's wearing his favored leather bracers here and wrapped fists. No shoes.
Has he got the like the shin wraps too?
Oh yes. Okay,
just checking.
Yeah, you know, Muay Thai styled wraps on the legs.
There it is.
And I'm gonna try to do like full on role playing today, so don't make fun of my voice. I'm telling the people at home because I know you guys are cool. Don't make fun of my creative.
Hey, listen. Here's the thing. We talk a lot about accents when it comes to character play, but they're not accents. They're voices. You're doing voices.
Yes.
You know, it's like dwarves have a Scottish accent. It's like, no, dwarves have a dwarvish accent, which may sound like Scottish to you. But remember that whatever voice you give your character, that's their voice.
Yeah.
Just saying.
See, that's why I love this area. All right,
Beautiful.
but that's pretty much me.
Thanks, Rico. That just leaves me. DMing Hadley, he, him pronouns, see here for about 60% or so of your DMing needs. Because I don't do maps. And if you don't know that about me, then welcome to the channel, I guess, because I say it damn near every time. Also, I'm your dad. And that's a whole other thing that you should go back and watch the other videos, because I explained that. Send me art, I'll put it on the fridge. I love you. Beautiful. The three of you stand atop a it's not really technically a teleportation circle, because generally speaking, teleportation circles are where you go to. This is a pretty significant arcane, one might say, corridor. Portal seems too simplistic for what this is, because it's not just some hovering, shimmering light in the distance. Bios, the 2'8" war-forged artificer for the Mercenary Guild, stands checking 6 different emitters. Arcane emitters, they are just swirling with vibrant, dense blue energy, almost indigo. It's so rich. And she looks at the three of you and says, now, this might hurt, mostly because I have no idea whether it's going to work at all. Best case scenario, and you see her look at a thick piece of glass. You can't see what she's seeing here, but she looks down at it, and she starts to sort of drag a finger along, her finger illuminating as it interacts with the screen. She says, there shouldn't be any intelligent life in this area. You're probably looking at just a bunch of mushrooms, if there's anything at all. It's a pretty large cavern, and she squints, which you just see like the lights of her eyes sort of like hone in a little bit. But this should be a good jumping off point. Once you're all set, and she points towards a small crate to the left in front of the three of you. You'll want to go ahead and set up a portal so we can send down reinforcements and establish a more long-term solution for getting in and out of the Shadowfell and the Underdark. You're sort of on the border here, so there's no telling what kind of insanity you'll come across if you venture too far from this cave. So all we need you to do is go down, set up shop, have a couple of good nights rest. Once everything's prepared for the teleportation circle, we'll send down reinforcements, and you guys will be right as rain. Sound good? Sweet. There's also, and she points to another crate in front and to the right of you. There's a bunch of rations and mundane adventuring goodies, just in case you're down there a little bit farther, or if you do find it safe to venture out. We want to make sure you've got everything you need. You guys can all see in the dark, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah? No? You Titus, you're looking at me like you can't see in the dark. How did we get you signed up for this mission if you can't see in the dark? You guys are being referred to as the Shadow Squad. You know, like the shadows are dark. You know, like there's not light because there's shadow, right?
I only signed up for this mission to protect the Underdark.
Well,
Light, dark, doesn't matter to me. I'll
Okay.
fight.
Well, it matters to me because I need you to be able to see. And she turns around and starts to tinker. And those of you who've been around a little bit, you'll recognize these welder goggles. They're sort of like the greeny plastic, and then sort of the flip down lenses. They're often used instead of welding to aid in targeting. In this case, she goes in and you see some sparks fly from the other side of her, and you hear some buzzing. And she turns around and she's got a pair of goggles that are very, very, very normal human sized goggles. And she goes, "These ought to do." And she holds them up. And from her perspective, they do look like they would fit on your face. But unfortunately, as she goes to hand them to you, they look like a child's play toy.
I have a visual representation. Hold on.
You've got no. Love that you have these. And she goes, oh, okay. Let's not dawdle. And she reaches over and grabs a little blue gem. Looks like a six-sided gem with little points at the top and bottom. And she puts down a set of goggles over her eyes and begins to charge this up. You see that little electrical and magical energy flow into this little crystal, and she plugs it in to the side of these goggles, which casts a sustained enlarged spell on them. And as they double in size, they look far more appropriate for. Oh, nice. They look far more appropriate for Kagos to be wearing than what you had moments ago. And then she says, everybody else good? Yeah, you guys are ready to go on your mission now. And she starts to mark down with her finger on this little tablet. Make sure that people going to the Underdark can see in the dark. And she underlines that 3 times. And then she looks and says, y'all ready to go? Okay.
I'll just go ahead and cast Dark Vision on myself. That's how I'm going to get it.
Okay. You pop that on, and you know when you see somebody like put on night vision goggles, and then immediately somebody like turns the lights on in the room and they fucking scream because they're blind all of a sudden. That's what happens as she reaches over and pushes a little black button on a trigger mechanism. And we just see this dome and then gone just that fast. And as your eyes start to adjust, Mary Garden, it's almost upsetting to your stomach. And then the darkness, everything's splotchy at first here. And can I get all of you to roll a perception check for me, please?
Ten.
Bad.
18.
Also 18.
Okay. I said bad, but I forgot that it was a contested check. Very quickly, I think it also makes sense because Garrett and Kagos, at once, it's dark, and then the next second, your eyes have adjusted. For Kagos, it's actually not even that hard because you got the goggles on, which automatically dimmed in bright light and automatically sort of kicked up the brightness. And so you are just a half a click faster than Garrett, seeing that while there may not be intelligent life down here, there is definitely life down here. You see a creature begin to rise up. At first, it looks kind of like a big bird or turtle bird. It's got a big beak to it. And at the end of that beak, it's got little silvery round eyes. And as it stands taller, you realize that it is only about 10 feet away from you. And then you realize as it stands to its full height and steps up onto the rock in front of you, it is about the same size as you. Yeah. And then in the sort of like dim indigo light inside of these goggles, you see it begin to raise this huge hooked knife-like arm to attack you. Let's roll for initiative. And if you guys recall how I like to do this, if you know without a shadow of a doubt that you've got the highest initiative, and I think Rico thinks he's got it.
I got 23.
Garrett's got it.
I got a 27.
Bam! Ooh, cold, ice cold. Shut
This
him
is
down.
nice. This is nice.
All right, Garrett with a 27, and then Kagos, and Mary Garden.
16.
Okay, you're not too far behind the curve there, but you're a little bit behind it. Garrett, you look out. You see immediately the one right in front of you. It's about 7.5 feet tall. It seems to have a rippled, quasi-armored chest, like naturally armored. Like I said, if you averaged sort of like a huge snapping turtle and all of the angry birds into one creature, this one's it. It's got 2 hooked arms, and it looks like it's going to take its first shot at Kagos. But you've still got about 15 feet between you and it. What would you like to do?
I would like to pull out my longbow and put a couple arrows in it.
And murder him. Murder, you just met him. And yet here you are trying to kill him.
It's very unfriendly.
The first friend you could meet in the Underdark. And here you are killing him.
And I'm going to be using my sharpshooter feat, so I'll add the damage and have the minus to the 2 hit.
Probably a wise choice.
So that is a 24.
Yeah, that's a gonna hit.
Ooh, a natural 20. And then
Nice.
I get a additional attack on first round.
There's other ones rising up behind him. Let's get this damage on the first one, because I have a feeling you're gonna get real close to murdering him between the first attack and the natural 20.
Okay, the first attack is a 19.
19
damage.
Okay, great.
Yes. And then remind me, how do you do your crit?
Absolutely. So you will double your damage dice,
Right.
as per usual, but you will then max out those dice. You will also max out any other dice associated with the roll. So if you had favorite foe or the other whatever, hunter's mark and those sorts of things, those would be included as well. In this case, I think it's just the maximum possible damage for that shot.
All right. That is going to be 16. That's going to be 34 damage.
Okay. It's not quite dead yet.
All right. And then the last arrow 13 to hit.
That one is going to miss. As it brings its claws together, sort of crisscross. It's just like thunk thunk, and this thing just blocks that last one. But it staggers. It doesn't take a healthy step forward. It staggers forward as it still gets its attention on Kagos. Anything else for Garrett?
Nope, that's it.
Very good. Kagos, let's get it started.
All right. How far am I away from him again?
Now just shy of 10 feet as it staggered forward, being shot twice right down the middle.
Oh, man, yeah.
If you want to take a step forward and knock this guy into oblivion, you might be able to do that.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going for that. I'm going to, stride up to him and hit him with, oh, shit, why did I push that button? A fist of unbroken air.
Nice.
So, like, from 5 feet away,
Nice.
I create a blast of compressed air that strikes like a mighty fist as an action. I spend 2 key points.
Okay.
And it makes a strength saving throw.
Okay. 14.
That does not block.
Right.
That does not stop it. So 3d10 bludgeoning damage plus 1d10 per key point I spent. And I have to spend 2, so 5d10.
Is it each additional? I think it's each additional key.
Oh, each additional? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
3d10.
Yep.
That is 22 points of damage.
22 points of damage. Would you like to know how many points of damage it takes to kill it?
Sure.
It's 22 points of damage.
Holy shit. Could I do some
right
flavor
on
text?
The money. Yeah, flavor it up for me, please.
So he takes Kagos takes a deep breath through his trunk, chest pumps, steadies himself. One quick, that fighting stance, just boom. It just air hits it square in the chest.
Yeah, as that air hits, the first 2 arrows that were drawn and fired, thunk thunk, sort of made a soft echo in this space. The crack of air, however, sort of sent more of a through this area, and you hear it echo back hard. You actually hear some rocks begin to clatter in the distance, too far for even those with dark vision to see clearly. It sort of reports just how tremendous this space is underground. As you hear those rocks clatter, you also begin to hear other things stirring in the distance. But there's other problems at hand, that's that there's 2 more of these things clambering up this little rocky ridge, as if you'd just landed in a nest of them. Kagos, I don't know if you've got. I think it is technically still your turn.
Yes, I still have an attack and bonus action.
There's 2 guys there. If you'd like to move forward, this guy was sort of blown backwards. He staggered forward, thunk thunk, and then we just see him blown backwards by this gust of wind. He thunk 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 thunk, and then actually makes a soft splash.
Water, very nice.
And then you see very clearly, mostly the silver beady eyes of these things are what really stand out in the darkness. There's 2 more of them clambering up the hill.
How far away?
You just see hook, chunk, chunk, and then you see those beady eyes and sharp beak.
I want to run forward and hit it with a knee, unarmed strike.
Nice.
22.
22 is going to hit.
And that is 6 damage.
Okay.
And then my bonus action, Flurry of Blows.
Very good.
That is an 18.
18 is also going to hit.
Cool. Damage for that.
Getting out
5.
of the way is not these guys' strong suit.
9 damage to him.
Okay.
And then the last hit for Flurry of Blows.
Okay.
16.
16 is also going to hit.
Another 9.
Very good.
So basically what happens is like run up fucking what was that UFC fighter name? I think like Damian Maya or something like that. He ran up, hit him with the knee, and that was it.
Bam.
Masvidal.
Masvidal, yes, that was a good one too. But
there's a few who do a real nice job where they look like they feint with the haymaker or the Superman punch, and then when somebody ducks the punch, just knee, bang, good night.
so like as soon as I hit with the knee, I drive down with an elbow and cross with a left.
I love it. This thing thunk 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 gets knocked around, but he's not dead yet. He's not dead yet. You see, he swipes as he's gone low. As you drop that elbow, this big hooked arm scratches across the ground. And you're very dexterous and are able to dodge out of the way. But it does send up sparks. Briefly illuminate just like how hard he was gonna try and chop your leg out from underneath you, and sort of how robust a structure these guys have for these hooks. And even though he misses, he's still undaunted. Does an 18 hit you, Kagos? He swipes low, and then tries to bring this up, and it's a close one. As you sort of lean back out of the way, you see this thing come right up the front of you, like he was trying to split you from stem to stern. The other one climbing up over the ridge begins to, he looks out, sees that his buddy is dealing with Kagos to the best of his ability, and makes a play for Garrett, and is definitely going to miss with his first attack. Just doesn't have the footing for it as he swipes down at an angle. How's a 19 versus your armor? No, not for you. For Garrett.
That hits. That
Okay.
hits.
He swings wide with this first one, and then continues to cover the distance and sort of swings back with his other arm. Him gonna give you 11 points of slashing damage. He is up in your business. He's a good foot or so taller than you, and he doesn't look to be standing up properly. No one taught him good posture. But you know who does have good posture? Mary Garden.
My turn.
Yeah, as you look out, you can see Kagos is engaged, and Garrett's engaged, each with their own, still very vital hook horror.
And there are more approaching from the darkness of this cavern.
Yeah, you can hear some scratching and scraping in the a little farther away.
Orientation of people. I want to use wall of fire in a ring.
Okay.
And I want to encase the party,
Beautiful.
and therefore create a wall that they have to pass through to get to us.
Magnificent.
So if there is
to include the ones that are already sort of on, you guys don't know it as characters, but you can kind of infer that you're on a bit of a precipice.
Okay, I wanted to bring it up on top of at least one, if not both, of the two that they're fighting, but I don't know if the orientation works out. I'll tell you what it says.
Why not? We'll just see what they do for dex. I think it's a dex save.
Yeah, so it's a big ring, 20 feet in diameter, up to 20 feet in diameter, 20 feet high, and 1 foot thick.
One might say hot. Okay.
DC 18 deck save.
Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and make the first one's gonna make it. The one that's fighting Kagos. The other one's going to fail. The one that's fighting Garrett.
Okay, yeah. So she like snaps her fingers, and this flame goes shooting up, and she'll use the 5th level slot for that, and so the full damage is going to be 40 fire damage.
Okay.
Half is 20. So the one that passes will take half.
Okay. Great. That also changes very significantly the illumination in this space. And can I get another round of perception checks from everyone? And Mary Garden, anything else that you want to do on your turn? It may or may not necessarily be a change once you hear what's going on here.
Just that's a concentration spell. I'm going to keep it up. The wall, if anything passes through it or ends its turn within 10 feet of it, they'll have to take that damage. So
outside of it, right?
I think it's either side of it. So the friendlies are going to feel the heat if they're within 10 feet of it.
Oh, you could just put it around everybody and cook these other guys. And
okay,
you can do that. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
Beautiful.
That's my action. I don't have a bonus.
All right, let's get those perception checks.
24.
24, 21.
And Garrett, my dark vision goes out to 330 feet. So,
okay.
But I guess with the fire, it probably negates it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not going to need it in this particular case. But this cave is definitely large enough. The 300 feet wasn't going to do it anyway. You guys are in an absolutely tremendous underground opening. As you look around, there's these flames begin to glitter off of hundreds, thousands of stalactites. Huge columns formed over millions and millions of years, almost glow from the illumination. You begin to see little, almost anemone-like creatures retreat back into their calcified shells, also covered. It looks as if they've grown on these structures so long that the structures have formed around them now. You also hear and can see huge, what look like millipedes. Long-legged, huge, wide, flat-bodied, sharp-pincered insects as they skitter as quickly as their tremendous forms will allow away from the light and back into the stalactites from which they originally clamored. And you can hear the scraping as thin bits of silt and calcification rain out of the holes that they crawl back into. You can also see Kagos from your perspective most easily that this does drop off into a nest of these creatures, but they do not look like they are continuing to pursue you. In fact, they are screeching and screaming in agony as you see them now using their hooks as God intended it to move over these rocky structures with ease. And there's about a dozen of them fleeing back into this tremendous cave. At the base and sort of winding center of this cavern is a pool of murky blue-green water. It's a little difficult to discern how deep it goes. In its sort of shallowest area, you can start to see a little bit, and then you don't know. It opens up and goes down, and then you don't know how far down it go from there. And we're back at the top of the order. Garrett, you've got a few targets, including, but not limited to, the one in front of you, who looks like you can start to see steam and smoke rising up off its back from being next to this flame, this wall of flame.
Okay. I will pull out my short sword. He's in melee range,
he's
right?
there. He's right there.
All right. And I will attack him twice.
Okay.
Uh, 23.
23 is going to hit.
And 16.
16 is going to hit as well, actually.
Oh, good.
Natural armor and no dexterity.
10 and it's 18 points of damage.
Okay, 18 total. Great. He's just barely clinging to life. One more real good hit, and he's going to be on the downhill as well. Anything else for Garrett?
No.
Do you have an offhand weapon?
Well, do I have time to pull it out? I guess is the question, because I had my bow.
Yeah, what I'd say is probably you could pull one of those real close shots if you want. Why don't you just roll me a longbow with disadvantage?
Okay.
You're probably still well within the range of hitting him, unless you got a natural failure.
All right, and I won't use the sharpshooter feat.
Okay.
So with disadvantage, it's a 15.
And that matches, see?
That is going to be 13 points of damage.
Would you like to know exactly how many points of damage he needed?
13 points?
It's 13 points! Yeah.
Garrett.
This guy, you slash, and he's like, no, I slash, and he puts both arms up like he's just gonna go right across you, and you're like, right in the throat. And you see him sizzle and fall right back into this wall of flame, which there's a brief sort of vivisection, and then you start to see blackened smoke. The smell, not bad, actually.
They're good eating.
It's there's more meat on this thing than you would have thought. But then very quickly that magic sort of burns straight through him. Speaking of vivisections, it's only on the outside. The inside, once you gotta really gut him quick, or else that meat turns bad fast. Beautiful. Kagos, you've still got one bad boy in front of you.
Hmm. How close?
I'm gonna fucking eat you close.
That's close.
Well,
I'm gonna slice your meaty, delicious Loxodon body into palatable chunks, roast you on the fire behind me, and on the fire of my friend's body, and then consume you along with my family.
hot.
That close.
Well, he has all these intentions, and I'm going to thwart them
Okay.
with a spinning back fist. Wapow! That is a 14.
Nope. You come spinning with the back fist, and I'm just gonna check. And he blocks it. But he sort of backs up a step, and you can hear the from the wall behind him. He is back against the wall, as it
I'm going to give him a sweet chin music like Shawn Michaels.
were.
And hopefully push him right back into it. 18.
18's gonna hit him.
Damage is 9 again.
9 points of damage.
And then another sweet chin music for my bonus action.
Okay.
21 to hit.
That is also going to hit.
Another 9 points of damage.
All right. No,
I just
you
keep getting 5.
Well, if you're rolling on D&D Beyond, it's insane.
Yeah.
You got to roll them real dice, boy.
Yeah, we're gonna bring him out.
Yeah, well, it gets caught in this weird loop. Same thing happens to another Matt that plays at the table.
Oh yeah, John, I got new dice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
show us
Yeah.
the clicky clacky.
Nice.
Those are.
I got another one, but they're all the way over there, and I don't feel like getting up. But I'll show you when we're done.
Now, you get 2 attacks. Do you get 2 attacks per action? Or is it just
2
one?
attacks per action and bonus attack.
Then a bonus. Okay.
Yes.
I only
So,
got
yeah,
2
that's it
attacks
for me.
there. You got one more attack? That I
No,
missed
you
out
got
on?
You got 3. I missed the first
Oh,
one.
missed it. Okay, I was like, very good. He's not dead yet? Question mark. But I have a feeling that's about to change, because he rolled a natural 1 for his dexterity saving throw. And John, is that 40 damage sustained?
I think so, but let me double check. I mean, we could always just roll again, but
I was just curious on the mechanics of it. Sometimes I make you guys do so much of the
yeah,
work
it's
around
the same damage. Yeah,
Okay, guess how much damage you needed to kill this guy?
1.
3 times.
Not 40. Not sure as shit. Not 40 damage.
Oh, that would have been so
yeah. No.
cool.
Sorry to break everybody's hearts there. Yeah, 17 children. 17.
Very nice. Very nice.
And this guy, he starts to rear back, and then you see his 2 little silvery beady eyes go, and you hear as the flames engulf him, and he roasts from the inside out.
Nice.
As he does, you are presented with a absolutely beautiful, if not serene, if it weren't for the hook horrors screaming and running off as quick as they could, diving into the water to protect themselves from the firelight hurting their eyes. It is absolutely tremendous in here. It's truly beautiful. You guys are sort of at the far end of this cave, on a precipice, which is about 30 feet in diameter. And from there, it sort of drops down into a beautiful, sprawling network of what look like somewhat hewn paths. Obviously, kind of like deer trails through the woods. You can see these beautiful, smoothed out spaces where critters have skittered and hook horrors have hung out. And it's pretty lovely. This firelight also doing a lot to aid in the beauty, the glistening and vibrant, almost glittering effect. What do the 3 of you do as you look around and regard this space so beautifully illuminated?
The nearest hook horror corpse, she
8 feet in front of you, right there.
pulls out like a knife, like a hunting knife or a carving knife,
Sure.
and moves over to it. And you notice perhaps for the first time since meeting her that she moves very very animal like, very like defensive posture, And after regarding it for a moment and confirming it is dead, she wants to jump on top of it and see if she can find any magically relevant or alchemically valuable parts to it to cut off.
Fantastic. Why don't you roll me an either investigation or survival? Either of those would be interesting for me.
Investigation is my bag.
Okay.
27.
Fine. Let's see if there's anything good on this thing. I'm glad I have a thing for this. Okay. The hooks themselves and the beak are really where the good stuff's at.
Okay.
There are alchemical uses to this. You saw already that there is a brimstone-like quality as the one sort of dragged its hook across the stones. It set off an array of sparks. There's I would say an almost phosphorus-esque value to them. They can also be turned into weapons. They can also be used as trophies.
Okay.
And they're not insignificant. They're about as long as a human arm, and properly mounted would function like a heavy scimitar.
Okay. Give me some. You want to give me a stat on like the hook or the beak as a weapon?
The beak probably not so much as a weapon. You could maybe do it as a hook on like a gauntlet, like a baby hyali. As a sword, let's just call it a long sword, and consider it versatile with a D10. Mostly because that hook at the end doesn't let you go if it hits.
Oh, that's the hook is a longsword?
Yeah. No D8, just a D10. Between the weight and the hook. But it would have to be mounted, and you've got to be careful, because the weight on them's a little.
Okay.
But yeah, you can collect as many of those as you'd like. I would say keep that beak. You could make explosives with it.
Is the hooked longsword valuable to either of you? Hadley, when you say D10, do you mean they can wield it with one hand and it's D10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
could use that.
If
Okay.
anything,
Yeah.
Now,
that being
she
said, it is not that yet. You would have to craft that.
Oh, I would have to craft
which
it.
would
Okay.
take some time. That
I
could
do have a
be
quick question.
Either done two shakes. That could either be done by mounting the hook, or by filing down and shaving away some of it. Imagine a 3 or so foot blade with a nice hook on the edge. If you filed away, you could use sort of the denser part of that arm as a handle.
What length of time are we talking about requiring to work on that?
I would a few hours of diligent and
Okay.
well planned. You could essentially just like drill out a place for your hand to go.
Okay.
They're
you guys.
relatively light, given their size.
Yeah. Okay. You guys do your thing, and I'll sit on it, and we'll see what we want to do after this.
Yeah, if we get a long rest and a couple of hours of good hard work, you could wrap it a handle in leather and be off to the races. Sweet. Questions, comments, or secret ambitions? Yes, Mr. Rico.
If I did use that hook to help with my melee attacks, would that increase damage or anything like that?
So you would roll a D10 instead of a D8 for damage.
Okay.
You could reasonably use a couple of these. Yeah, John?
Ooh.
You might need proficiency in longswords.
Yeah, that's a question. You do have martial weapons.
Yeah, I have martial
a
weapons,
cleric.
but it's all
Oh,
mainly
then you're all
gunnery.
good.
Heavy
martial
armor,
and
light
simple.
armor. Martial weapons, simple weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
So yeah, if you guys wanted to spend some time before you did decide to rest.
I grabbed 2 of those, and if they're both interested in one, then maybe the group is interested in sitting here and doing this for a minute. Yeah.
That's not a problem for me.
But
Yep.
second follow-up question. I have to roll a d6 for damage for unarmed attacks. Would that increase it to a d8?
No, your unarmed, your fighting style, your regular unarmed strike actually shouldn't be shown as a. You should be relying on your fighting style, unarmed fighting, where it's a D8. In this case,
There it is. Okay. Yep, I see it.
in this case, you would add a longsword, and regardless of whether you used it one-handed or two-handed, you would be able to roll a D10. So their martial class does come in, or your cleric class does come in handy. For those
So you have monk levels as well, Rico? Is that what you're doing?
Monk cleric.
Yeah, so my advice, how you want to handle that is you'd have the sword in one hand, and you'd have the other hand free to punch. And so for your various monk abilities that only proc on unarmed strikes, one hit would be with the sword, one hit would be with a punch, and then you could still use flurry of blows or stunning strike or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably
Okay.
a good investment of your energy.
I like it.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I'll
D6
leave,
D8 thing is confusing because basically the unarmed fighter fighting style kind of broke the monk class. So both of those dies show up now, and they shouldn't both show up.
Yeah, it should just change your base attack to. That's fixed now. If you'd like to add a longsword to your inventory, how long does the wall of fire sustain?
I think it's only a minute.
Okay. What do you do to keep these things from coming back? There's a crate right over there. There's another box right over there. One's for the circle. The other is full of mundane gear and supplies to make sure you guys are well taken care of.
So we just started our adventure. This was our start point, and
Right.
You just
we got
pressed start.
ambushed.
That was your what's the little intro training module? At
Yeah.
the beginning of the video game.
Prologue.
Yeah, there you go.
We now know what to expect.
Now you've seen a few different critters in here, and you know that there's life. Not all of it seems to be very intelligent. Certainly, this wasn't intelligent enough to recognize a viable threat when they show up at your doorstep. Yeah, what do you guys do to keep them at bay, though?
Is there like any kind of wood that we can make torches out of?
No trees underground, it seems.
Oh, duh.
But in the supplies
Yes, there
the
is
mundane supplies.
there is a can of oil.
Okay.
It's like one of those like 2-gallon kerosene oil cans. There's a number of torches. In fact, that number is 8. They are reusable. They seem to be a thin steel, and it's like there's a wick, like a Zippo torch, and there's a little slide at the top to snuff it.
We could position torches around the walls where they came from to keep the whole cavern lit, which they didn't seem to like.
Nope.
And if there are any traps, are there any traps in the mundane items, like bear traps or caltrops?
There are caltrops. There's not traditional sort of traps. There are alarms. Bells.
I have a
wire.
hunting trap.
He's got a trap.
Just one.
You could potentially fashion good old fashioned Home Alone style some traps, some tripwire stuff. You've got, I think you guys killed 3 of these hook horrors. So you took the hooks from 2 of them. There's 4 more hooks you could pull and create sort of a combo alarm slash trap with those things.
How long will that take?
That depends on how good you are at it. But I mean, you've got wire. These hooks aren't actually particularly heavy, so you could set up sort of a tension rig and a tripwire, and roll me some survival checks, and let's just see how everybody does here.
I'm really good at survival.
17.
19.
Okay, great.
23.
Great.
I was going to say, especially the ranger down here, familiar with the Underdark, is going to be great at this.
Yeah, this does not take too long. I think over the course of a couple of hours, you're able to douse these metal torches. Which I'm gonna make one of these now. Now that I've come up with this concept, I'm really fucking excited about it. Yeah, I'm super stoked. I'm just gonna get just pieces, just sleeve of metal that'll clip in place, and then just push and then open and then just. I'm gonna make that. Fuck. Just put a couple O-rings on the inside to make sure that you don't lose any fuel. And Bob's your uncle. Yeah, you guys set up these 8 torches. You're not going to get all the way around this space because as you look out and start to come down into this cave, you see that it actually turns off to the left and continues onward. And from that torchlight, you can barely see, mostly because of the reflection, you can see a little farther than you would with traditional torches in a dungeon. That the space branches farther to the left. It looks like it goes up, and you can see a thin trickle of water, which is feeding the pool in the middle of this room. You can also see that the route to the right descends farther. And you can hear just a faint burble of water in the distance, still slowly running. As I think Mary Garden and Garrett, the 2 of you begin setting up traps and blocking off sort of the 2 main entrances with relative ease. The rocks down the middle here sort of climb upward. And then there's sort of winding paths throughout. But fundamentally, it looks like there's 2 major paths which you block off with relative ease. You tie up some tripwires, set some alarms, throw up a couple of these little hooks on a spring, and are able to set up this space without a whole lot
1
of
minute.
struggle.
Sorry, I gotta go for a second.
All right, we'll miss you. We love you. I was just about to get to your fun stuff. But after a couple hours, you guys have gotten a short rest. For what that's worth, I don't think either of you were injured in that process.
No, but
I took some damage.
Okay.
I can get my 5th level spell slot back with my arcane recovery.
Wow.
One more thing I would like to try. I think that while we're working on the blades, I offer to poison the blade for either of them. And the method she would like, normally when you coat a blade in poison, it only lasts for a minute. But she would like to try to use her alchemical kit, take a rag, soak it in poison, soak it in like saltpeter or like a special powder, and coat
You mean like the powder from the beak, which is phosphorescent in nature?
Yes, to keep a semi-permanent, longer-lasting coating of poisonous gunk on the hook blades. Can I try that?
Yeah, roll me an Arcana check, please. Okay. I love this play, by the way. I think that's a real smart move.
It's an 18.
Yeah. I think that. How much poison do you have?
Like 3, vials.
Okay.
Is the standard sort of item.
So here's what I'll say: it's gonna take all 3 to coat 2 weapons.
Okay.
That's the downside here. Good side of things is there's probably lots of poisonous things in here you can take care of. The other side of that is there's some things that are resistant to poison.
Yeah. So what effect will it have? Will it do like a poison damage die and confer the poison condition, or how do you want to?
Yeah. So what's your saving throw?
18.
Okay. So I'm gonna burden you with this.
Yeah.
And
DC 18.
Yeah, DC
Con
18
save.
con save. Anything 13 or below, they're poisoned.
I like that.
With and anything if they roll a 10 or below, they're gonna take ongoing damage.
Okay. What's the immediate damage for?
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a look at some poisons here. What do you have? Do you know what kind of poison you had?
So the item is like basic poison, and it's usually a D8, I believe. If you have the poisoner's feet, it's D8.
That's okay. So let's do that, and then let me just check real quick. Beep 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 beep.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back. It's great to have you. Oh, sit down.
And fellas, what are we doing?
Let's see here.
Are you interested in having your sword poisoned so that it does poison damage on a hit?
Yes.
Yes.
I had to think about that real good. But maybe if we can save some poison for Garrett's arrows.
Nope, we can't.
All right.
It's going to use all of it.
All right.
That being
But
said,
that's okay because applying poison to arrows in combat is like really costly time.
Yeah, you don't want to fight with that. Also, I gotta say, these the whole poison thing in D&D is
it's undeveloped.
Yeah, there should be more opportunities for it. There's so much.
The only cool thing is there's a drow poison that if you fail it by more than 5, I think, you fall unconscious.
Correct.
But it has a baked-in save of 13, which means
So
something
low.
has to roll an 8 con save, which like a lot of monsters can't roll that,
Yeah, it's bad. That being said, we're getting through it. Show me the nails. Very good.
So, Rico, your poisoned sword is DC 18 con save. If they fail, they take D8 poison damage. If they fail by 5 or more, they also take the poison condition. And if they fail as a 10 or below, they take continuing poison damage every turn. I'm guessing another
until
D8.
Save ends.
Until they save.
And they can save against the ongoing damage, but not save against the poisoned condition.
Oh, they'll just have to find a way to get unpoisoned later, like on their own?
No, so they can, if they rolled like an 11 or a 12, they would save against the ongoing damage, but they'd still have like disadvantage because they are still poisoned. They're just not taking ongoing poison damage.
Got it.
Sweet. I really like that. Thank you, John. It was a gift.
Yes,
also,
thank you.
Now
the
I'm
only
going to have to
problem
go in and rewrite all the fucking poisons here. Because this is just bad. I could drink some of these and be like, alcohol seems more dangerous.
I invented one called a Sabalu poison that was 14d6 on a DC 22 save because it was for a high level game.
I love it.
And I created the whole recipe for how to make it. It was super involved. You had to hunt weird shit.
Vials like this will kill a person. I digress. You guys set up some traps. You set up some torches. You poison some of these hook horror blades, which you spend some time drilling and filing to create weapons. Now, Kagos, you have a disturbing realization with your 23 survival check. And that is that, well, you are not alone. There's something in the stream. As you look down into these sort of murky blue-green waters, there's just a couple of faint bubbles that rise up and ripple across the water. And then without another bubble, you see that water ripple again. So you guys have scared off a bunch of bugs and scared off some hook horrors, which went scattering and scampering into the distance. But there's something in the water, dude. There's something in the water.
Yeah, I'm definitely warning the rest of the team and telling them to be on guard.
Sweet. Sweet. It's important. How's a 21 versus your armor class?
Mine?
Yeah.
That actually hits. Oh my god. Oh no.
That's fantastic. That's what I like to hear. You are going to take 13 points of bludgeoning damage as a tentacle whips up out of this water and wham right around your face. And can I get a Constitution saving throw, please? You might not have to make it as a monk, but I don't know how many levels you've got.
23 save.
Okay. Your skin turns like a dark purple for a second. And then as you center yourself, we see that almost bruise-like disease start to dissipate.
Can Garrett and I react to this happening?
Absolutely, yes. I'm not gonna. You guys are gonna now take initiative. So, John, if you're ready to get in there, show me what.
She whips her head around and sees this tentacle go whipping through the air. She pulls something out of her pouch and blows this flame into the air as this massive dog jumps out of thin air, wreathed in flame, like made of flame, and she casts Mordenkainen's Faithful Hound,
Nice.
which will be active for 8 hours. It can't actually run around. It's basically right next to you all the time. It can't be harmed, and it bites people for 48 bludgeoning.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Amazing. Beautiful. I love it. As we see that conflagration, we see another one of these sort of tentacles writhe up into the air. And yet another as Kagos, you are able to back away from this before these tentacled arms begin to retreat back into the water. And the water ripples softly for just a moment as the three of you look on. What do you do?
I take that thing off my back, which has been wrapped up, and like getting ready to unwrap it. Yeah, unwrapping it slowly.
Okay.
Just looking around, making sure everything's okay. Fucking bastard.
How's a 20 versus your armor class? Also, I love the wind chimes, but you will have to control your D on occasion.
That matches.
Okay. As the water's still for just a moment, something much larger flaps out and hits you. And can I get a strength saving throw, please?
12.
You're gonna take 15 points of bludgeoning damage. And this thing's gonna try and wrest whatever's in your hands out of it, and knock it out of your hands to the edge of this pool. What you guys are seeing is a sort of shimmering, glistening, light blue / sea foam colored set of tentacles, and then a much larger, denser, thicker something or other that doesn't. It's just like a.
It's in the water, or
it's in the water. It came out of the water, slap, 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 and then dove back down. And then while Kagos was like slowly trying to act, smash, comes back up and swipes again.
Can I do a nature check to see if I know what this creature is?
Absolutely. And I do believe that you have advantage on it, given your.
I get to add my proficiency bonus
on top of it.
On top of it.
Great.
So,
okay.
So that'll be +7. So that's 23.
Aboleth.
An aboleth. What do I know about them?
Aboleth. You know damn near everything about it with a 23. So much so that I can just copy paste this for you. Save myself the trouble, although I will go through it. It is an amphibious and horrifying looking creature. You haven't seen its face yet, but it has a significant tail and then a number of tentacles that grow off it. It's got a face that looks like it's designed for biting people's heads right off. And it has sets of eyes atop its humongous skull, and it is also very dangerous, not from its physical standpoint, but from its psychic one as well, because it will probe your mind, and then it will enslave creatures. It will disease them as well. And charmed or enslaved creatures are entirely under their control.
Okay.
I have a ring of mind shielding, just saying.
That's good. That's good. It does not know that necessarily. Let's see if it knows that. It doesn't know that.
Okay. I'm going to attack. I'm going to first use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay. Roll me a perception check because it has gone back under the water.
Okay. $19.
Okay. Yeah. You see some ripples on the water. It's coming back up for another pass. You know where it's about to be. And so you're going to get the jump on this as if you had sort of a readied action. Hunter's Mark. And then you begin to see one of these tentacles break the water. And you can see the rest of its body. It looks like what it's doing is keeping its head underwater and flailing its tentacles and tail to sort of hide its nature.
Okay. Does this count as the first round? So I get to do the bonus attack if I have.
It's acted twice now.
Okay.
So I don't. That's going to be your.
I don't get. Okay. First turn. At the start of your first turn of each combat.
Then,
so
okay, that's your first turn then.
Okay, so so I get 3 attack with that. Get 3 total attacks. I'm also going to do action surge, so it'll be 6 total attacks.
Amazing. Roll them all up.
Okay. 21.
Hit.
You want me to give you damage as I?
Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see. No, you just go ahead. You're gonna probably need most of those.
11. That's going to be a miss.
Yep. 17 is what we're looking for. 17.
15, but I'm going to use my precision shot to try to make sure I hit it.
Let's look at this guy who came to play Dungeons and Dragons tonight.
Okay, so that gives me a 19, and that was my first bonus attack.
Bang up.
So, okay, now my second set of 3.
Okay.
A 22.
Definitely a hit.
A 22.
Hey.
1.
Okay. Yeah, give me all the sweet damage.
So 1, 2, 3, 4 plus a bonus for the ambushing attack. Just 1 second, Hadley.
Sure.
So that's going to be a total 27 plus 72 is 99 points of damage.
99.
99.
I love the idea of you just like.
Oh, wait, I forgot to do the hunter's mark. So actually, it's 99 plus another 17.
Okay.
So 116 total.
Magnificent. That might not be the single highest damage from a round of combat that I've heard of, but it's probably in the top 5.
Sweet.
That's gonna live on. As you just absolutely pincushion this thing, what is the most enjoyable environment? The most enjoyable sensation, the most rapt experience that Garrett could have.
Probably hot elven women.
Got it.
Yeah.
So we see a sign pop up on the side of the cave. You do. Nobody else does. Hot elven girls. And it's wreathed in little yellow lights. Red neon.
It's like from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, very much so. It is absolutely surreal. The far wall here becomes a stage. Not like a strip club, more like an old like Fred Astaire style, like cascading semicircular stair with stairs coming down on either side, and it's almost like the like Miss Universe pageant of elvish women, and some that you're not quite sure. It doesn't matter; they're still hot. And it's ridiculous because there's every level of garb. Some of them are in like full plate armor. You see one, they like flip their visor up and wink at you, and then unhinge it and close it and like go take a place on the stage. And then there's another one that's like clad in like bikini armor. Like ridiculous, right out of the early like D&D first edition red box concept. Others woodland, more like nymph-like braids in their hair.
Hippie chicks.
A little grimy, just a little crusty.
Whoops.
as if they're just like parading out. Can I get a wisdom saving throw, please? As you realize that you're now seated, either judging this contest, or about to be a victim of it.
I get a 21.
Yeah, as you see one of them lean forward and blow a kiss, you see a little heart like float towards you, and as you swat it away, realize that there is in fact no such illusion, and what you know about the aboleth is that it implanted that in your mind long enough to get away from you.
Mm, little fucker.
Yeah. Him bad boy.
Yeah.
Him bad boy.
Yep.
Yeah. As he sets you up, and you knock him down, though, the other two of you see Garrett's somewhat seized, looking out towards Kagos. In particular, Kagos, you're sort of standing there like for about 6 seconds or so.
Hooded one. Where have your eyes gone?
Yeah, you look behind you, there's nothing there.
I thought I saw something, but it's all okay now. That fucking aboleth.
Well, be on guard, hooded one.
I always am.
Mr. DM, has my sheet item been ripped from my hands, or
it's on the ground
Okay.
near the water.
I don't want to get it right now. It's a trap.
No, you don't want to go over to where the water is? Come on. There's a friend in the water.
I'll go with you.
He wants to make friends.
I want to kill him.
I do need that back. I'll wait till my turn to decide what I'm doing.
Well, just take initiative. We're not in initiative order right now. What's Mary Garten doing? As you realize that old boy here's been an aboleth took a shit in his brain.
She's not subject to the effect or anything.
Nope, just him. He was the target of that effect.
And it disappeared back beneath the water after he shot it a bunch.
Yep. That's it. Smart. SMRT.
And I definitely can't see the aboleth anywhere.
Roll me a perception check. We'll see if you can consider it before it breaks the surface of the water.
No, just 12.
It's contested. It's coming right. It's coming right for us. It's coming right for you.
Okay. I'm going to cast Suggestion.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell it, release my friend and leave. That is, you suggest a course of activity limited to a sentence or two and magically influence a creature you can see within range that can hear you and understand you.
It's a wisdom saving throw?
It is 18.
19 for this one. I roll me a wisdom saving throw, please.
I have advantage on effects that would charm.
Okay, great. It's not trying to charm you so much. But what was the first roll?
I rolled an 8 and a 4 for a 13,
okay.
Basically.
What languages do you speak?
Abyssal, Celestial, Common, Deep Speech, and Primordial.
It speaks to you in Deep Speech, inside your mind.
What does it say?
And it ends up not just like only barely breaking the surface, and begins to sort of float down again. It says, Oh, hi. Hey, just a quick question. What the fuck are you doing in my home?
We mean you no harm. We were
Bullshit.
merely.
Bullshit.
We
You
were.
just killed a couple of guys right over there. And it all you can feel in your brain it pointing. This
Yeah,
is
it's not
what
what the hook. The
everyone
hook
out there. This
orders.
is what deep speech sounds like. Hey, what? Hey.
I assure you, strange and powerful being, we are merely
Bullshit,
passing.
this ass.
We are merely passing through your domain and mean you no more harm. Surely you do not want more conflict.
Yeah, yo, you don't want this. You don't want none of this. Y'all better get
She-
the
if
fuck
she-
out of here. I'm gonna turn
if
your
she
brain
could-
inside
if she
out,
could-
homie.
If she could curtsy mentally, she would.
All right. Roll me a persuasion check.
Okay.
The most horrific thing about an aboleth right now is that this is what they sound like.
Oh my god! I rolled an 8.
You know what? Fuck you. How's a 21 versus your armor class?
That'll break. That'll
Okay.
beat it.
Sweet. And can I get a Constitution saving throw, please? You get slapped across your mouth.
23.
Very good. Very good. This guy's gonna do a little. You're gonna take 12 points of bludgeoning damage. And I missed this part. I should have paid attention to this part. Oh no, that's cocked. Cool. I'll remember that part. Yeah, it slaps you. And then it slaps you again. That's gonna be a 26. And then it misses its third attack. I do need another Constitution saving throw from that second slap.
14.
That matches. Good job.
Okay.
You are going to take another 13 points of bludgeoning damage. And then inside your head, you hear, if you're moving on, then now's the time to move, baby. Move that ass.
So is Garrett charmed and unable to attack it?
No, he broke out of that, fortunately.
Uh,
But the two of you do see thwack, thwack, and a somewhat staggered Mary Garden.
She is pissed and is going to cast Immolation with Blood Magic at level 6.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, light him up, Egon.
So
What happened to
she,
the hound? Does the hound get to attack?
Well, let's resolve this one, then we'll see if
Okay,
the hound's
sorry.
necessary. No, you're good.
Yeah, that's a good point though. So reaches out her fist and crushes it, and it's like there's like a detonation on the aboleth as a DC 18 dex save.
Okay. Good. Okay. Great news, everybody. Does anybody know what the bonus to the dex is for Nablith?
18.
It's -1,
Jesus Christ.
which is also pretty great because it rolled a 2.
Oh my God.
So it rolled an unnatural 1. As you set off a thermonuclear detonation in its little pool here.
32 fire damage.
32 points of fire damage. Hey guys, you remember how at first the hook horror sort of smelled good? No such luck on this one, guys. Boiled aboleth is bad.
Ugh.
It's very, very bad smelling. Can I get Constitution saving throws from everyone?
Because it smells so bad.
Not just, but yes.
I got a
Oh,
15.
I got a
Awesome.
1.
I bet
Also a
it's
15.
particularly bad for me because of my trunk.
Good. That's great. That's great. I just want to double check. Was it 15 from Mary Garden?
Yeah. By the way, I took 5 points of damage from my blood magic cast, so I put that on there.
Fair. Well, what did you get, Kagos?
Another 15.
15. Okay. And we're gonna resolve that natural one in just a second.
Oof.
Very excited.
Big
Mary Garden and Kagos, you're gonna take 8 points of poison damage.
No.
Yeah. And Garrett, can I get a wisdom saving throw from you again, please?
$18.
Very good. Your brain's not going to fall out of your ears.
That's good news.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You're going to take 17 points of poison damage, and 9 points of psychic damage as that link to the aboleth's brain being severed so violently gives you a little smidgen of what it feels like to be immolated.
Was it killed in that attack?
You just saw it sort of slink away.
So the thing is that with immolation, it catches on fire and it keeps taking fire damage on subsequent turns. But it is in the water, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless I will say this. What's your passive perception like, y'all?
18.
14.
Passive perception of 10.
Okay. Garrett, there's a sort of inky, slimy, mucal sheen that begins to rise to the surface of this water. It goes from being sort of a murky blue-green color to being sort of like really more milk layer over the top, sort of an opalescent sheen, and then you slowly begin to see that opalescence draining as water is coming in from above. It seems to be draining off very slowly. One might even say imperceptibly, if it were not for your great perception. And as you watch this, you think a couple of things have happened. First, the aboleth probably is dead. The second thing is that this water might clear up once it is fully broken down, but you don't know how far down it is. It's because it could be deep. This could be a chasm, even part of an underground river. That has not been ascertained. The body of water itself is about 20 feet wide at its largest, and like I said, sort of drains down, or water runs in and then drains down, downward.
Okay.
What do you guys do now? Yes.
I get my javelin back
Okay.
very carefully.
Should we make a break for it now and exit this cavern and because we have a destination. We kind of have an idea of where we're going, right?
This sort of is the start. this is your save point, as it were.
A question for
And
John.
yeah, go ahead.
Do we hear? No, no, never mind. I just answered it. It all happened in your mind. The conversation that you had with the aboleth.
Yeah, I suppose it did.
Okay.
I'm gonna. So you said, Adley, you said that you can see sort of trails worn through throughout the cavern. I'd like to see if I can tell if any have been recently used.
Ooh,
Great.
I would like to do the same.
Yeah, survival checks are in order for sure.
Yes.
I'm going to impose a bit of a penalty because the three of you have been moving around in here pretty significantly, including being in combat and hosting and judging a beauty contest.
And probably
How
water
much of a
sloshing
penalty?
around all over the place.
Let's find out together, shall we? Wow, the die could it literally landed like this. I was gonna say 0, but instead I rolled the die again, and it's gonna be 1.
So -1 on our scores.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I have advantage on survival.
So
17.
11.
Okay. At first, Garrett, you're not too pleased with the results. Or maybe you're very pleased with the results because it doesn't seem like anything's really moved through here that's not a skittering creature or a hook horror.
Okay.
But Kagos, as you sort of make your way carefully past the trap set from the room moving upward, you go up a little bit farther to the edge of the torchlight, and you can see a couple of things. The first thing that you see is what looks like a discarded adventuring pack. It looks old. It looks like it is just threadbare from age. And beside it is a pile of bone and dust and clothing. And a helm which is tipped over and still contains a good chunk of the skull of whoever wore it previously. The clothes look to have broken down over time. And there is some armor which looks like most of it's chain, which has rusted with age. Yeah, it looks like this fool came down here and just died. Doesn't look like he was killed. Doesn't look like he. I mean, it's been a long time, so you don't know if there would be any blood. But the arrangement of the body would suggest that he hunkered down beside this big rock, put his pack beside him, fell asleep, and never woke up again.
Interesting. I am gonna gather up these things, not as much the bones. Maybe. Yeah, I'm just gonna gather it all up and take it back to the camp.
Sweet.
I'd like to try something kind of risky.
Well, let me resolve this. Actually, how about I'm gonna pause. You're still at the stuff. You tell me the risky thing.
Go fetch the aboleth's brain.
Okay. Nope. I like this. I like this a lot. Roll me. You're an investigative type, right?
Mm-hmm.
Roll me an investigation check with disadvantage, unless you have a way to get over the murky, cloudy water that you're about to dive into.
What do you mean get over it? Like fly?
Be able to see more easily through this. Do you have true sight or
I see.
some sort of other method of perception? Because as soon as you hit the water, you're gonna be in Cloudy Town. So you're
Let's
just going to
see.
sort of be groping around.
I understand.
The
True,
other thing
true
is,
seeing is too high a level. I don't have that.
find object,
Yeah.
locate object, or something like that.
Yeah. Let me look. What? Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's a wizard spell, second level.
Great.
If you've seen it up close, at least once, it's familiar to you. You can sense the direction of the object's location as long as it's within 1,000 feet of you.
Well, I've got great news for you. It's only within 10 feet of you.
Okay.
You could, with relative air, just sort of slink down into the water. It seemed as you sort of are like, "Where's the aboleth?" You can see a much brighter greeny sort of outline to this creature. Now, you can't see the space around it or what it's on or how deep the rest of the water is, but you can get down
Okay. Is there a place to tie a chain or lock? I have a chain and a lock. Can I?
Lots of places.
All right.
Lots
I'm gonna
of
wrap it
stuff.
around a stalagmite,
Yep.
and I'm gonna go down there and wrap this chain around the aboleth.
Okay. Roll me a Constitution saving throw as you get in the water.
So that's fun. I rolled a 1 for a
Magnificent.
total of 5.
Roll me a Dexterity saving throw, please.
13.
Okay. As you step back, you start to sort of like rappel down.
Yeah.
As you get down and you're about to go into the water, you take a deep breath and then you plunge, and almost immediately it's like someone took 2 ice picks and stuck them in your ears. And you lose the hold of the rope for just a moment, and then try and grab it again. And as you do, you feel that this water, it is so minerally and slick that it's even hard to get a hold of this hempen rope.
Okay.
You're gonna take 10 points of poison damage. And as you realize that you're trying to keep your breath and trying to keep a hold of this rope, you feel your feet thunk onto a soft surface, and because that spell is still active, you're standing on the body of this apple.
So it's on a surface.
Correct.
All right. I feel around with my feet to find that surface and start trying to tie this chain around this thing. Or do I still have the chain?
Yeah, you got the chain. You got a hold of it now. It's just sort of slick from this.
Yep. I loop it around the aboleth and use the lock to secure it.
Okay. As you sort of feel around with your foot, this is a pretty thin ledge this thing's on.
Okay.
And it continues to drop away, and as you start to feel a little bit more, you can't feel far enough to feel like there's something else underfoot.
There's a drop off here.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I still able to get him wrapped in the chain?
The chain's done. Yeah, you could tighten it up real nice around its tail. Get some fleshy bits in there.
Can I go swimming up, and I'm gonna essentially get their help to anchor the chain up. You see her.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great, bud. As you make your way back up, it's a real shit show. Garrett, do you want to help with that process?
Yeah, I'll help pull the aboleth up.
I say its parts are very valuable.
And not wrong.
I could probably help too, right? I'm close enough.
Not yet. We're still.
Not yet. Cool.
I gotta resolve something with you, homie.
Okay, go ahead.
Just going picking up things in the Underdark. Can I just get a strength check from the two of you just to make sure you're good?
Sure, just athletics from each of us. Flat.
Sure.
Dirty 20.
Nat 20.
Very good. Yeah, the two of you together, when you pull this thing out, it's horrifying. It comes up mouth first, as if it was about to try and eat the both of you. Which I think also aids in your like as you're backing up. But you lug this thing onto the shore, as it were, and it's a pretty sizable critter. It is just over 12 feet in length, as a big fish, and its mouth is nearly 3 feet wide. And doesn't even look like it necessarily closes all the way.
Okay. I rolled a 23 Arcana on knowing which bits are valuable enough to take. I kind of figured the brain is common knowledge, but to casters, I guess.
Yeah. The and hey, good job with your DC check there, because it gets bad. It gets bad if you don't get it right. But yeah, the mucus is also valuable.
Okay.
You know that. And you could use some of that. Bear with me just a moment. I'm going to see if there's. Yeah, the aboleth mucus would be a pretty dangerous poison, and with that level of knowledge, to poison someone with it, if they failed that check, they would be granted water breathing, but no other kind of breathing.
Oh, that effect. Bro.
Now there's a time limit on that though, and that's 4 days.
Okay.
Depending.
I will try to collect as much of that as I can in the vials from my kit.
How many vials do you have?
I don't think it's defined in an alchemist's kit.
You can get 13 ounces of it. There's a whole big creature. You can essentially take something and milk the flesh of this. It's only been dead for less than a minute.
Okay.
But that does, like I said, have a shelf life of 4 days.
Okay. The big prize here, I'm going to try to remove and preserve the brain.
I'm going to count that with your check.
Okay.
What do you have to preserve this? Some cherry, some orange preserves, marmalade,
Like
mason
flask.
jars.
Basically,
Yeah. There'd be jars. There'd be flasks in my alchemist kit.
Okay. There's a pot. Do you want to put it in the cooking pot from the?
I'll put it in the cooking pot.
Okay.
That's Sir Sissa would be proud. That's what we'll
Do you
do.
have do you have some vinegar or a brine for it? Do you want to make a local brine?
Can I fashion one from any surrounding
vegetation? Why not? Yeah, no, there's nothing vegetative down here.
All right, let's see what survival.
The closest thing to a plant that you can see are what are now sort of popping up back out of mostly stalactites. They don't seem to be on the stalagmites. These little polyp-like critters.
I got a 26 on my survival.
Yeah. Do you want to you got some dill seed, or some mustard seed, some fennel?
Yeah, yeah.
Really brine it up nice. Some good kosher salt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'm here for it.
Tasty.
I'm here
Tasty.
for it. Some raw garlic. Y'all do
sort
not
of a.
Y'all want to be very clear. Do not eat this brain. As delicious as it sounds, and my mouth is watering. Thank you.
Should we figure out later what it will do or what it can do, or do you already know what you want it to capable of?
What do you want it to do?
Maybe it would give you like temporary telepathy or immunity or resistance to being charmed, or
I got an idea here.
Temporary tremor sense or something.
Yeah. Here's how this is gonna work. Okay. Yeah. So I think what's gonna happen here is that probably BIOS or some other sort of agent. Also, you guys are going to get to meet some new characters with the Mercenary Guild. I'm excited about introducing next session. Yeah, a wise and capable alchemist could use it to grant a couple of boons. The first one would be telepathy. So you and a number of other individuals who consume the same brain could communicate with one another.
That's cool as fuck. I like that.
There's non-verbally. The other thing you would get is a brief single use of probing mind. That would be once in 8 hours. Your telepathy is only going to last an hour. The probing mind, as long as it's in your system, you'll be able to essentially cast without using a spell slot, detect thoughts.
I was going to say, learns the creature's greatest desire if the aboleth can see the creature. Okay.
I'm gonna just redirect that just ever so slightly. Of what they're actually thinking about now.
Okay.
Whatever your normal save DC would be is what the save will be for them if you decide to probe their mind deeper.
Awesome.
Sweet. Yeah. Can't do it yet. Somebody's gonna have to do some work to make that happen. You gotta add more than a little mustard seed for an aboleth brain to serve that kind of purpose. Sweet. Hey Kagos?
Hey, buddy.
Hey man, how are ya?
I thought I was feeling great.
Yeah, I think you were feeling like you were feeling great. You don't very suddenly, you do not feel so great. Can I get a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage, please?
Okay. I rolled a 19 and a nat 20, so 23.
Okay, very good, very good. This isn't going to hurt quite as bad as it was going to before. As you go to pick up this bag and step back with it, you're like, "Hey guys!" You pull this bag up, and you hear a click. And as you do, you look down and you see a thin trail of what looks like coolant. You ever seen coolant? Green,
Mm-hmm.
kind of almost luminous.
Yeah.
And then you see what looks like flames up into the bag, and then y'all hear boom. Yeah, Kagos, you're gonna take 23 points of damage after the halving.
Nice.
And are knocked back 15 feet. And there is a tremendous, while you guys are seasoning this brain in a big cook pot, you hear boom, and 4 of the torches on this side of the room are instantly blown out, leaving illumination only from the far side of the room, far in the distance. Now, the next thing, as Garrett and Mary Garden, as y'all turn to see what the hell that is about, and your ears are ringing from this cacophonous explosion, you see green flame. It is climbing up the wall. It is running down the wall. Someone made a huge batch of alchemist fire and essentially set this bag up as a trap. And you see Kagos dancing and flailing, covered in green flames. I mean, it's elephant, so it smells. This is the best aroma you've gotten down here. Even through the singed hair on their body. And you see Kago stagger out of these flames like a stunt double. And just before you're thinking about jumping in the water, Kagos, realize that everything that's on you has burned off already, and you're just sort of smoking. You were just about to dive right into that water. You're still holding the metal frame of this old backpack.
There was nothing of value in there.
As you say that, you begin to hear the echoes of this explosion, sort of going back and forth, coming from deep below and above. And back and forth. This tremendous explosion. Then there's silence.
Hooded one, pale one. I believe something else could have heard that.
That's not wrong.
These drow, they know the system, yes?
Yeah, I would say, Garrett, you're going to feel pretty confident that if you're somewhere near the cusp between the Underdark and the Shadowfell, yeah.
We're going to attract something.
You're going to attract a lot of attention now.
Is there a discernible way out of the cavern?
Yeah, there's one that goes up, and then one that goes down. There are also some holes that you saw giant insectoid creatures crawl into in the ceiling.
We'll avoid those.
Aw.
What do you?
Come on, you could go down. If you go down, there's a little lip 10 feet down in the murky water, and then it goes down more.
Well, that sounds too good to pass up.
It's murky. You can't see in it at all.
Well, has it started to clear out because of the aboleth? Isn't
much.
Oh,
Not
it's in the
much.
water.
Not much.
well. So, guys, we could either try to go down through the water, or we can wait to see if anyone comes. I can cast rope trick, and then we can
Rope trick.
hide, take a short rest, and let them pass.
I don't like this idea of getting into the water.
Not until it's a little clearer.
Yeah, it's not good.
And there was a second exit, basically where he found the backpack. Was that what it was?
Yeah, so if you guys are looking down that tunnel, one side goes up, one side goes down.
I think we're going to want to go down eventually.
It's entirely
Yeah.
up to you guys.
We think we're looking for a temple. Is that what you said?
No, you're just actually looking to set up shop more than anything.
We're
yeah,
looking for
You guys are
A place for a base.
a
This
base.
space
Yeah.
was essentially scried by the mercenary guild. This is supposed to be the base.
So, according to our objective, and according to this strange bag, I
It's
feel
still
going
smoldering in your hand.
going up would provide more bags. Finding more bags would find who made them. That's an idea. We have natural enemies all over here, but this, unnatural, and must be eliminated. Down later.
How did we get in here? Well, we were teleported in here.
Teleported in, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Doctor
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah.
It wasn't comfortable. It wasn't like you just opened a portal and walked in. It was like every bit of you had been ripped to shreds and then put back together real fast.
I think her gut instinct would be to say stick to land and find out. Go that way, see what's down there. And if there's no good territory down there, then we talk about going deeper. Maybe there's another way to go down, without going through the water, since we don't know what dangers lurk in the water.
Indeed. Pale One is right.
And because aboleths are particularly dangerous in the water, there could be more of them.
Garrett, you instinctively nod. Given what you know about aboleth, they are fiercely independent emotionally. But if you see one, it's not fundamentally alone. There are more of them around. They are amphibious, but they do tend to enjoy the water more. And so bodies of water are to be maybe not avoided, but wary of.
So it's either the high road or the low road.
Yep.
High road.
And pretty much what's going on in Kagos' mind is that he didn't like getting blew up, and he definitely kind of wants to figure out who did it. Not necessarily revenge, but
Roll me an investigation check.
Okay.
And if you'd like to look into this as well, given that you are a bit of an investigator, Mary Garden, you could do that as well.
Yeah, I'll take a look at the bag and the guy's body, and a nat 20 later, have a 29 investigation.
Okay.
I got an 18.
Okay. As you look this over, Kagos, your take on this is
Hold on.
pretty simplistic. Somebody made a bomb, they put it in a bag, they waited for you guys to come around, and then the bag blew up just as planned. This is a premeditated thing. As you begin to look this over a little more, though, Mary Garden, you realize that not only was it a trap, it was everything it was supposed to be. The body was probably that, what little's left of it, of some former adventurer that was dumb enough to come down here, or somebody that they had made a slave, or something like that. The body's decrepit and old, but what gives it away more than anything else is the helm. The helm looks from the outside, it's just a simple sort of helmet with an angled sort of guard from the ears down to the shoulders. But as you sort of turn it over, you realize that it is just leather over a traditional drow helm, which is still shining on the inside. While the chainmail has rusted and fallen apart, the interior of this helm is still shining. And as you peel back sort of the leather and metal that covers it, you can see a gleaming silvery helm of obvious drow make, intricately designed scrawling and etching of that helmet. And as you look it over, you can see the on the back as it starts to fall away. Now that the coverings have all been removed, you can see Lolth standing on four legs, with their forelegs up in the air, and they have a bow drawn, which eerily looks like it could shoot you at any second.
Show that to them.
Okay. As you guys see that, can I get religion checks?
Nat 1. I don't care about such things, Pale One.
Oh,
Who made the helm?
You wish it was that easy.
Nat
Wish
20.
you could get out of a nat one like that.
Right?
Okay. What was Mary Garton's religion?
Oh, I didn't know you needed one for me too. Happy to do it.
See how deep your knowledge.
19.
Okay. As you, I gotta say, Garrett, you're so hot. You're so good for this. You're like, give me some of that sweet drama. I'm fucking. Yeah, you're so hot for this. You start to get hot under the collar a little bit. As you look at it, similarly, you're like, okay, at least we're on the right track, Mary Garden. You understand, both of you, that Lolth has been brought back from their sort of statuesque prison. You know Lolth is back. And you know that you're in the right place at least. So you got some good feelings about that. Kagos, you don't feel so good about this. Because as you see that image of Lolth, you recall that a number of adventurers were sent from the Mercenary Guild to try and prevent the return of Lolth, and unfortunately, they failed. You recall hearing stories of how their bodies were strung up on display inside of a cavern and used as target practice. And until their bodies fell apart from age and necroses, they were what's the word is escaping me now? Desecrated their bodies until there was virtually nothing left of them. And something stirs inside you. I think we literally hear like a gurgle in your stomach at the thought of how long they could desecrate your body before they were done. What's you guys' passive perceptions again?
18.
14.
10.
Okay. As the three of you are regarding this and looking up, should we go this way? Look down. Should we go this way? You look back upward, and as you do, you don't see anyone, but you do hear a voice. You hear. We've been waiting a long time. And that is where I'll leave you.
Those bastards.
So kudos and congratulations. First on not dying. Second on at least establishing somewhat of a presence in the Underdark. We've got 2 more episodes in this sort of mini series, and I really hope you guys don't die before the end of the 3rd session, because I really would like for there to be a Shadow Squad set up here in this location. It might have to be somewhere else. That just depends on how well you guys do. But second location might just have to serve its purpose. But I'm glad to see all of your faces at the table. I'm very grateful to have y'all with me, and I do look forward to seeing you again next week for another episode of Shadow Squad. So, with that, I will bid you adieu and au revoir, and remind you, as always, to be good, to take care of yourselves, and if you can't be good, don't get caught. Good night, everybody. Mwah. Mwah.
Night.
Bye,
Night,
y'all.
guys.
Doodles.